Pleasant good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show. I'm excited. I tend to always be excited, so I know you're not surprised. But here's the deal. Let me tell you a story. A few months ago, I want to say close to a year ago, actually, I met this woman, one of my very dear friends who hosts a women's group very similar to the women's group that I host. She invited me to come to one of her networking meetings, and I met this woman who she has such joie de vivre. She has such an incredibly abundant personality, and she is so inspired to share her message with the world. I met this woman, Soribel Martinez, at a networking event of all places. And I felt like my heart was speaking to hers and her heart was speaking right back to mine. It's not that often, to be very honest, that in this late stage of life, I've been around guys since dinosaurs have been roaming the earth, so it's been a while. But it's very, very infrequent that at this late stage of life that I feel this connection, this incredible synergy with somebody where I feel like the words that are coming out of their mouth are the things that I've been thinking about for just abundance and increasing productivity and collaboration with the women of the world. Well, guys, I have her here with me today, and she's going to share with us her 5 tips for being resilient in business, but also in our lives. Because guess what? We don't really have control about the ways that the winds of time, the ways that life is going to push us around a little bit. We don't really have any control over that, unless you do. And in which case, give me a call because I need the 411 on that. But as far as I know, there are lots of things out there that we have no control over. But there are some things that we can control. And when it comes to those things and being resilient, Soribel Martinez is Miss Unbreakable herself. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her story. She's been there and she's been back, and she's here to share with us that you can do it too. So we're going to bring Soribel on in just a moment. But what I'd like to do before we get started is just to remind you all that I am Dr. Davia Shepherd. I host a women's group called Ladies Power Lunch. It is a free community for women in business who really believe that when we link arms together, that everybody wins and that a rising tide lifts all boats, and that supporting each other through collaboration is the real way to grow our businesses with ease and flow. And so if these words are resonating even just a little bit with you, then I invite you, come be part of our community. Guys, the doors are wide open. My arms are wide open. And I welcome you. Just go to growsmarternotharder.com/Facebook. We're there for community, and we're also there for supporting growing your business in an aligned way. You can join our community. You can take advantage of the amazing free resources that we have. Certainly, this TV show we have, if you're on the go and you need something to keep going, we have our podcast. We have our monthly networking meetings, and of course, we have our members only portal, which is off of social media, where you can actually go and connect with each other and grow each other's businesses smarter. Okay, on with the show. Guys, I want to introduce to you my friend, and she's about to be your friend too, Soribel Martinez. Good morning, Soribel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Is it Tuesday? Happy
It
Tuesday.
might be.
It is Tuesday. Yes, it is Tuesday. The days are going so fast, so fast. So thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. And when I met Dr. Devia, just a few months before I met her, I have been I've been praying a prayer that I often pray to God when I need him to provide me with resources or the people that I need in my life to fulfill my vision, my mission, my dreams, my goals, and everything. So I was like, God, guide me. I need you to show me the path. I've been wanting to write this book, Unbreakable. Actually, before COVID, I was doing Unbreakable seminars and workshops and talks in Spanish. And then, boom, COVID happened, and then I had to stop. So I didn't have to stop, but I stopped doing them, right? So I was praying this prayer for a long time, since 2018, actively praying that I wanted to get this book into the world. I have begun to write few things. I tried to do the outline, things like that, but I was not really doing anything with it. Well, let's back up. I decided that I was going to be an author when I was 7 years old. I decided that I was going to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to bring this big impact to the world when I was just 7 years old. I was looking at the sky, asking God how he was going to get me from the Dominican Republic to the world so I can impact the world in a big way. I didn't even know what I was asking when I was 7, but that was probably the truest, most authentic could have made when I was 7 years old, right? So then 2018 comes around, and I'm thinking about this book even more and more and more and more and more. I want to write it. And boom, I meet Dr. Davia. So when I meet Dr. Davia, I was like, listen, you not just look like the women in my family with those cheeks and the lips and the nose and the hair. You could be one of my aunts. But also, I've been wanting to write a book. And she was like, well, I'm the woman for you, right? Because she has this program, right, that helps women like me get their story into the world. And then when she proposed the thing, I was ready to go because I made that decision a long time ago. It's just that I have not put the right person in front of me to help me guide this path. So today we're going to talk about resiliency, right? What a wonderful thing, because we need to be resilient, not just in business, but also in life. And the truth is that I have experienced few things in my life. And one of the things that has helped me become resilient in my life is truly be myself. But how does it being yourself going to help you be resilient? Yes, because when you know that you know that you know that you already know that you have been selected by the universe, by God, by our creator to do something spectacular in the world, you know that you know, like you know, because you know what you were meant and you were created to do, that there is no storm, right? That there is no situation that could be bigger than you when you know who you really are. And getting to know who you really are and being who you are, like I am like this, whether if I wake up in the morning or my friends or my son or my mother, don't think that this is just for me to give it to you. I live from this place of energy, of purpose, of passion, more passion, less perfection. I am in love. I am married to my purpose, to my dreams, to my goals, because I know that I was created for something bigger than me. So when you know what you were created for and you know who you are, you know your identity, right? You know that you are a queen, you know that you're a woman of power, you know that you have something to give to the world. Who can take away from you who you already are? You were given, before you were even born, you were given a name. You were given a purpose. You were given a mission. You were given a vision, right? So when we know who we are, adversity becomes very little. And so step number one is know who you really are and be who you really are. Because I always tell people, the rest are taking and they're boring, right? Nobody can be like you. Nobody is like Soribel Martinez. Like there's no way, there's no other, God didn't create another form but me. But God didn't create any other form but you, right? He created us unique so we can bring something forward into the world, so we can inspire, so we can help other people transform. So when you know who you are, you step up unapologetically. Because I always say, what do I need to apologize for? There's nothing to apologize about, because all I'm doing is being the person that I was created to be. There's nothing to apologize when it comes to your vision and your purpose. The other thing that I learned in this journey of becoming resilient is that once you know who you really are, you have to be really clear about your vision. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I remember that after I lost my son, Giancarlo's, I was 36 weeks in gestation. And one day I went to the doctor to do a follow-up appointment. And unfortunately, I came home empty-handed. My baby was not alive anymore. And I have to go through this process of burying him, grieving him, all of that stuff. And when that happened, I got close to something that I knew, which was church, religion, right? And I started going to church with my mom. And one day, God gave me a vision in my dream about a program that I could bring forward to the church. It was a program for the children, to get the children organized and have a ministry for the children that was cohesive. So when I talked to the pastor, he said, you will not believe it. I have been praying for this. Nobody even knows, not even my wife knows that I've been praying for this, because we need someone that can bring a program to the church. I said, well, here is the map. God gave me the map of the program. So when I presented the map to the program, some of the leaders in church felt intimidated. And they started complaining that, I was too bold. I used to wear blonde hair. I used to wear weave. I used to cut it. I used to wear makeup. And some of them didn't like the personality. So they started complaining and saying that, I was not going to church every day, and they didn't like that. So when that happened, I said, well, let's do this. I'm not going to come to church every day because my spiritual life doesn't depend on coming to church every day. But you can keep the program that God gave me for you. Good luck. When I said good luck to him, he didn't understand what I was saying. They were not going to be able to implement that vision, because that vision was given to me and they were rejecting it. They were rejecting it because they were judging the woman that I am. Who I am as a person did not align with them. So what happened is that I give them the plan and I say, you can use it, you can implement it, no problem. And I started praying to God and I said, well, why did you call me to be this great woman in the world? But I go to the one place that I know and they reject me. They don't want me. And I heard God's voice inside of my intuition in my heart, in my gut, that said, they can accept you because they're not ready for you. And plus, I did not create you for the pulpit. I created you for the world. Go take over. And this is how I began to reconnect with that big vision of that little girl who wanted to bring a big impact to the world, right? Your vision, who you are, is not going to be for everyone, because not everyone is going to understand why God created you. But the truth is that they don't need to know why you were created. You need to know why you were created. So in order to become resilient, you need to know your vision. You need to have a clear vision of why you were created. And because I have always been clear of my vision and what I'm here to do, every time I am in the middle of an adversity, every time I am in the middle of a storm and I'm inside of that ship and that ship is about to sink. Just when the ship is about to sink, and I think that there's nothing else that I can do. You know what happens? My vision is reminded that what I was created for cannot be destroyed by an adversity. That an adversity was not created to destroy me. It was created to help me rise up and be better than before. So you need to know who you are, and you need to have a clear vision of who you are. And when people don't understand your vision, you don't sit there and convince them that you are good enough, because you are good enough, because you are good enough. You don't need anybody to validate that for you. So once you know who you are and you understand what you're here to do, you need to have a clear vision. And the third step is, I believe that we need, whether if it's in business or in your personal life, you need to be directly connected with the source. Think about a rose. Think about a beautiful flower that you take from the garden. You cut the flower, you bring it in with a beautiful aroma, with the beauty in the color, in the petals, and it's gorgeous sitting there on your table, on your stand, whatever it is that you put it. You put it in water, you put maybe some aspirin, you put some things to make it last longer. But it doesn't matter what you put into that water for that rose to stay alive. Eventually, that rose is going to die because you have separated that rose from the source. So what kills you is not your adversity and your problem. What kills you in the process of an adversity and destroys you is that you disconnected yourself from the source. And no matter what you do, when you are disconnected from the source, from your purpose, for the reason why you were created, and you forgot that you were created to do something magnificent in the world, then what happens is that you die. Because your life and your business needs your spirit. You are the center, the motor of your life and your business. And if you are dead, you can't bring life forward. So you need to stay connected to the source. You need to understand what is your purpose. If you had disconnected yourself from the purpose, this is why I wrote this book, Unbreakable, to get you right back in connection with your purpose, so you can bring forward the greatness that it is in you. So you need to know who you are. You need to have a clear vision, and you need to stay connected to the source. The fourth thing that has helped me overcome adversity is asking the right questions. I remember sitting in my bed when I lost Giancarlo's, crying my eyes out because I was hurt. I was grieving the loss of my baby. I wanted that baby like there was no tomorrow. Eating healthy, eating organic, going to Zumba 3 times per week, walking, drinking the water, not drinking coffee, doing all the things. And then something so precious is taken from you. And when I was in the moment of grief, something in me wanted to ask God, the universe, why me? But I told him that I will never open my mouth to ask him why it happened to me. That when I was ready to say something with my mouth, it had to be gratitude, and I needed to ask him the right questions. So when I was ready and I started opening my mouth, the first thing that I said was, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this moment. But it was breaking me inside. It was hurtful to say thank you when I was really hurting. And then I say, I will never ask you why me, but I want you to show me the reason why and the purpose of this adversity. What is it that I need to learn in order to bring forward the vision that you have given in my life. So instead of asking why you, why not you? We aren't that special that we cannot experience adversity. Where have you seen a human being grow and be better in the middle of all things being great? What makes you a better person is what you can overcome. What makes you great in business is when you can do the things that you've never done that you're willing to do. You know, when you go to that network meeting, like I didn't want to go that night, and then I met Dr. Davia, and now my book is written and it's about to be launched in just 6 weeks? When you push yourself to be in a position that you don't want to be, when you get out of your comfort zone, like I was at some time in my life where everything was great, but guess what? God doesn't want me in my comfort zone, because in my comfort zone, I can't create anything. We create something magnificent for the world when we get out of the comfort zone. We become uncomfortable and we are willing to do the things that most people are not willing to do. And I was willing to be grateful, and I was willing to ask the right questions to him. And that answer came one day when I was talking to a girl who says, Soribel, your text message interrupted my suicide. I was going to commit suicide. And I met with her and I was talking to her, and I was using empowerment theory to empower her to take control over her life. And something came over me and said to me, this is the reason why. Remember when you asked me, what was the lesson that you needed to learn? Why were you going through that adversity? This is the reason, because it is your adversity that helps other people get saved. It is your moment of difficulty that helps you lift other women up. And I understood. And since then, my grieving process has been different. I still grieve. It's just different. It's just a different kind of grieving process. And then the last thing, I think this is the last one. I think this is number 5. I want you to embark a support system that can really support you, a support system that believes in you, a support system that understands your mission. And why you think Dr. Javia is here? Why you think the therapists that work with me are here? Why you think my assistant is 1 o'clock in the morning and she's getting creative and creating the things that needs to come along with this book? Because she is part of my support system that really supports me, that believes in my vision, that believes in me, that believes in my mission, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to help me bring something amazing into the world.
I love every single one of those tips, every single one. I have been sitting here, I'm in such a wonderful position doing this show because I'm able to sit at the feet of these women who have such wisdom to share and to myself learn. And I've been taking notes. Know who you really are. You're unique. Don't try to be anybody else. They're all taken and they're all boring. Oh, I love when you say that, Soribel. Be clear about your vision. That is so true, because sometimes when life might knock you around, you might feel like wavering. You might feel like, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to go do something else easier. For those of us who are in small business or solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, I might just go back to corporate and get that safe paycheck. Come on, guys, those thoughts have gone through your mind at some point in time. You got to be clear about your vision and your mission. And then I loved your analogy about the plant. I always ask people, please don't give me flowers. If you would like to give me something beautiful, give me a plant. I always say this. So when you had that analogy, it made perfect sense for me, because if you're not connected to your source, if you're not connected to your purpose, then adversity is going to knock you right over. I'm mixing metaphors here, but you get what I'm saying. Ask the right questions and focus on gratitude. Can't say that enough, because you know, gratitude is really the engine that drives abundance and prosperity. So focusing in on that is, no matter what's going on around, there's something there to be learned. And I love that you got your answer for what your mission really is, and then get your support system. Now, I want to talk about this for just a moment. Support system, so important, so key. I talk a lot about collaboration and being collaborative and linking arms together. And guess what, y'all? There are times when I am the lone wolf and I'm sitting here in my office and I'm siloed and I'm trying to do things that I have no business doing. And I know I'm not the only one. I share this because I know you guys do it too. And I love that Soribel, I told Soribel when we met that she thinks that I was brought into her life to support her purpose, but I feel like every day she reminds me of my purpose. And so it's a synergistic relationship that we have, where I support her, but she is giving back so much to me as well. And having that support system, having people who are there, who believe in your vision and mission, there is nothing like that. There's one such person in our office that I can tell you, my manager, Sandy, who manages all things Ladies Power Lunch. She gets the mission. She understands it. She knows that we're here to support women in business. She gets it. And because of that, on a Sunday, we're texting back and forth. There is no time that is not a good time for her, because she gets it. And of course, I'm not going to overstep and be unreasonable, but I'm just saying this to say that she gets it. She gets the reason. So Soribel, people are watching, and they really want to know, how can they be in touch with you? How can they connect with you? You might not have mentioned at the beginning that you're a licensed therapist, that you have your own practice. Tell us a little bit more about that part of your life.
Yes. So my name is Soribel Martinez. All right. I am a licensed clinical psychotherapist in the state of Connecticut. I am the CEO and owner of SM Psychotherapy and Counseling Services, a good practice in Connecticut, extending into New York and Massachusetts, where we offer psychotherapy, counseling, psychiatric, group therapy to children, adolescents, adults, couples, and families. And we have women and male that specialize in different areas to support the community. Additional to that, I am a business coach and consultant to mental health and other healthcare providers in private practice who want to either start or scale their private practice to the next level with ease and flow. If you want to find me, I'm all over the place, everywhere, YouTube, on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Find me, send me a friend request, follow me, engage with me. I am constantly sharing inspiration, motivation, transformational stuff to help you, right? Become unbreakable, not just in life, but in your career, in your business, in the way you parent your children, in the way that you face life. And I always feel like I need to say this. It's not for you to be perfect, because actually perfect is also boring. Your imperfections makes you unique, and it allows you to become better in all the areas that you want. You want to be creative and you want to bring, forward some type of impact. So it's not about living a perfect life. My life for no means is perfect. There's a billion things, a billion reasons why I could be laying in my bed crying today, but I choose to stand up, do my hair, get it together, and come help other people heal and serve them.
I love that, Soribel. At the beginning of each show, before we go on air, I pull a card, and it's just a card to give us a nice thought for the day. Today, when I looked at my card decks, I felt like this card deck, Sacred Rebels by Alana Fairchild, was just calling me and saying, "Hey, you haven't pulled for me in a while." This was the very first deck that I ever got, and I pulled from it pretty regularly, but recently I haven't been. So this morning I pulled a card, shuffled really well and pulled a card. And this is the card that I pulled. It says collaborative dreaming. Now, we've been talking for about a half an hour, and I probably haven't said the word collaboration yet. So you guys know the rules on this show. When I say collaboration, 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 everybody has to take a drink, right?
I don't have any.
Collaboration. You can drink whatever you want. You can drink your coffee, your tea, whatever beverage you have. Collaboration. I truly, truly believe in collaboration. And what are the odds that almost every time I pull from this deck, this is the card that I pull? But it's interesting because the reading that goes with that card is pretty involved. Most of them are like a page or two. This one is like 5 pages. And it seems to me that today, the thought that was pulled out for me was completely different from anything that I've ever thought about when I've pulled this card before. Listen to this, Soribel, and tell me what you see. You are asked to bear the rough patches that can happen when you work creatively with others. Ideas might clash and there can be friction, particularly if you have different ways of working. Sometimes big dreams need more fire to ignite them into reality. More fire might require more friction along the creative path. It's not meant to be a permanent condition, just an aspect of the creative process from which you can learn something useful if you wish. Your guidance is to embrace any experiences of friction or tension within yourself as you work with another with compassion, detachment, and tolerance. That's the piece that jumped out for me today because we're talking about times of adversity, times when things don't seem to be going absolutely the way we might have liked. And I feel like the message that we're getting from this is that there's value to these times. There are things to learn, and are we taking the opportunity to learn them? What's this bringing forward for you, Soribel?
Yeah. Because like think about what you were saying and fire, and the bigger the vision, the more fire we need, right? Do you know that the more costly and value is the diamond, the more fire and process that diamond needs?
Wow. Yeah,
So
well,
how
it's amazing.
it's amazing. So the bigger your purpose in life, the bigger the impact that you have to make, the bigger the fire that's going to be put under you. Because the fire is a symbolism of shaping, creation, molding, making better, right? So give yourself the opportunity to see yourself as this beautiful diamond,
Mhm.
and how life is shaping you. And every time there's fire under you, you add value to yourself.
That's
So
beautiful.
I always joke with people and I say, before brain surgery, my brain, to pick up my brain had a value. After brain surgery, the price has doubled up
Well,
because
of
my
course.
brain has more value now. After that adversity, my my health values more than ever. My thought process has more value just because of what I went through and what it takes me as a woman to be healthy every single day.
I love it. I love it. Soribel, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to thank everybody who tuned in to watch with us. And I want to say, if you're watching this on the replay on streaming on growsmarternotharder.com/TV, or if you're watching on our YouTube channel, or if you're watching on the Win-Win Women Network on your Roku TV, your Apple TV, your Fire TV, or if you're catching us on our podcast, however you're finding us, I want to say to you that when we get to the half hour mark, that's not the end of the show. All you see on your little screen on the replay is up to round about this point. But actually, we keep the conversation going for a full half hour afterwards. And you could be part of that conversation too. You could be here talking one on one with our special guests, picking their brains. So if you're here and you're watching along, I say stick around till after the credits because we're going to keep chatting. Stay with us. And if you're not watching live, then I'll say to you, I'll see you next time when we're going to get together. And I hope that you'll join us. Guys, it's been just a tremendous opportunity to be able to be here with you, to have you on the show. And I want to say thank you, Soribel. Everybody, thanks for joining us. And
My
we'll see you
pleasure.
guys on the next show. Bye, everyone. Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and we're just going to have some, really meaningful conversation about this whole topic of being resilient. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ladies Power Lunch Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. My very special guest is Soribel Martinez. Soribel, can you share with everybody you are and just tell us a little bit about the amazing things that you're doing in the world? Because I know you're doing a lot of things. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Okay, so my name is Soribel Martinez. I am a licensed clinical psychotherapist. And I think the most important thing that you need to know right now about me is about my upcoming book, Unbreakable. My book is launching on the 20th of March, and I am so excited to bring you some of the stories that have made me resilient, but not just the stories, but also the tools I have done to really transform some of the most difficult times in my life into valuable lessons that have made me stronger, better, a better mother, a better human, a better friend, a better entrepreneur, right? Because we just went through a Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sorabel. You were saying that you just went through but then we got a little bit cut off. So can you tell us that again, please?
I was saying that we just went through a pandemic, right? Running our businesses. So um, we have overcome a few things in life, and this is what I'm doing right now. This book is, I'm putting all my heart, my energy, and I can't wait to put it in your hands for you to read.
Beautiful. I am looking forward to that with great anticipation. I want to say that, Soribel comes to us with a wealth of experience. She's already a best-selling author. She was one of our co-authors with our most recent anthology, Ignite Your Leadership. And in that book, she shared some really heartfelt things with us. She really went deep and she shared with us what it takes to be the kind of leader that the world needs now. And she told us a little bit about her backstory. So some of you may have met Soribel before, but Soribel really, she's been through a lot. And for a lot of people who may have been through the things that Soribel has been through, they might not be so upbeat. They might not have such great positive energy and still be in this mindset of positivity. And so, Soribel, my question for you is, as we are entering into this world, this new world where our lives are so different from the way it has been before, our businesses, many of us, our businesses are very different, look very different from the way that it looked like before. There's so many things that are different, unpredictable. How can we build resilience within ourselves and also within our businesses?
One thing that I think is important to understand as leaders is that we never want to take a position or attitude of, poor me, I am a victim.
Mhm.
I'm not a victim of any of those situations. I'm not a victim of brain aneurysms and surgery. I'm not a victim of losing my son, grief and loss. I'm not a victim of being a single parent. I'm not a victim of having to leave the Dominican Republic at a young age and grieving that loss. I'm not a victim of society expectations of me that I don't care for. I'm not a victim of any of that, because none of it defines who I am. None of it. And I think that one of the things that has helped me in my life, I don't see myself as a victim. Like, I don't see myself like, oh, poor me, I've been through all these things in my life and it's so hard. Like, I don't even think about it that way. My attitude is, okay, so when things hit the fan and they don't come out the way I want, so what is it that I need to do to fix it and make it better? How can I become better in this situation? What is the lesson that I need to learn to move forward in my life, instead of like this poor me mentality, like the whole world is against me and oh my God, nobody loves me, including the universe.
So my question, Soribel, is because I mean, a lot, you have been through a lot, and a lot of people have also been through a lot, but not everybody has taken the approach that you have taken. How can we, as we're going through the things that we're going through, how can we take a more positive attitude? What are some tips or tools that can help us to be more positive even when the situation looks on its outside to be negative?
Um, it's true, especially in the beginning of an adversity, you never like positive about it, right? And I think the first step is like being the gentle observer of where you are in life. Recognizing that when things go wrong, they're wrong. When you're suffering, you're suffering. When your brain is open and it hurts, right? So being the gentle observer of your situation without judgment is one of the steps that you need to take to change your attitude towards adversity, right? Once you observe and you know exactly where you are at, then I think that changing and shifting your mindset and how you look at the adversity can help you be more positive in the middle of the storm. Right? I can think I'm going to die every day. I'm not going to make it through surgery. Or I can think I'm going to choose life. I'm choosing that no matter what, I'm going to do that, everything that's possible in my power for me to be here. The rest I will leave to the unknown and to the universe to make the decisions. But I'm always willing to be a co-creator of my own reality. So when we take that perspective of looking at what is going on with us and being realistic, and then once you're realistic and you're looking at it from a gentle perspective, then you can come back and shift your mindset. What is the adversity here to do for you? Is it here to destroy you, or is it here to teach you something? What kind of questions are we asking when we are in the middle of the pandemic, of the adversity, right? And the pandemic, right? What questions are we asking? Why me? I'm not favored because I'm going through a difficult situation. How dare God takes my baby when there's plenty mothers out there giving their babies away, right? Because everybody's in a different situation. The mama that gave their babies away, maybe were in a different situation than I was, right? So me losing my baby doesn't mean that I'm better or worse than those other moms that do have their babies. That just means that I went through a situation and I must look at it from a perspective of this could happen to anyone. I'm not special that it couldn't happen to me. What is it that I need to learn from the situation? And how can I find something good in the middle of the storm? Like gratitude.
Let's talk a little bit about gratitude because, you've shared some stories with us that you've been through a lot. You've been through brain surgery, you've lost your baby, just things that would perhaps break a person. And you've come out on the other side of that gangbusters, doing really, really amazingly, and also not just doing amazingly, but supporting others so that they can also be amazing. So gratitude, how does that play into this idea of being resilient in life and in our businesses?
Let me tell you a story. So when I lost John Carlos, one day I was sitting in my bed and I was crying my eyes off. And something that I know in my life personally, that when I am in the middle of a storm, I need to not focus on me and I need to focus on how to help somebody else heal. So I was sitting in my bed crying and I said this prayer to God. God, show me the path. What is it that I can do today and now so I can transform this pain into something bigger than me, literally. And as I'm sitting there, something comes inside of me and says, go back and see your clients. At that point, I was seeing clients and I have said, cancel all my sessions, and I didn't know when I was going to go back. But I understood that sitting in my bed crying about my situation and focus on my situation was not going to help me. So what I did was I turned that moment into a moment of gratitude and appreciation. To what? To my ability to be able to serve others. So I immediately sat there and say, thank you. Thank you. I am grateful for the opportunity to have others that I can serve. Thank you because my clients need me and my situation can serve them better. Thank you. Thank you. I can see the appreciation of them wanting me to go support them, even in the middle of my own adversity. And I started to say gratitude and thank you, and just started little by little saying things that were more positive, and more grateful and more appreciative of life. My other son was alive. My other son was healthy. My mom was healthy. I had a whole bunch of co-workers, my son's school came together, my family came together, like I was not alone. So I became grateful and appreciative for those. And in order for me to transform that further, I felt that I needed to go serve my clients, and I made a decision to contact my client and go back and serve them and help them heal in their own situation. Believe it or not, that gratitude of them being available and needing me to help them lift them up helped me in the process of my own healing process. So every time that I'm down, I'm thinking about who can I go to help heal now, because healing brings a sense of gratitude from the other people and a sense of gratitude from you because you are able to do it. So healing others through gratitude is powerful, and it has always helped me help others.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, and I'm sure I'm the kind of person who I love learning things and knowing things. And as you're saying this, it brings to mind the fact that when you are in the process of helping somebody, or even if you're just watching like a video of somebody helping somebody else, it actually causes serotonin to be released in your brain. And all of you know, serotonin is one of those feel-good chemicals. I mean, I'm a practical person. I love the facts and figures. I love to be able to see it in a double-blinded controlled trial. Like that's how my brain works. And to know that actually there is a purpose to using what you're going through to support other people, and it actually does something physiologically to your body to make you feel better, that's amazing.
Actually, research shows that the benefit of the serotonin in the body is greater for the person who's doing the act of service than the person receiving it. So if the
That's
person,
amazing.
right? So if the person receiving it feels 100 power of energy, the person giving it is receiving double or triple.
You know, it always feels good when you help others. It always feels good. So, Soribel, if you were to give us a piece of homework, something we can implement in our lives and our businesses today, what would that be?
Go to your journal and ask yourself, if I could conquer all the things in life, how would I feel? How would I think? And how would I behave? Because those three things, thoughts, feelings, and actions, is what changes your results. So every day in my journal, I'm asking myself, if you were the kind of entrepreneur that you want to be, that does this, and that, how would you want to feel, Soribel? What would you be doing? How would you be behaving? How would you be thinking? How will you be showing up? So the way that I show up every day in social media, in my business, in the work that I do is literally created through the process of journaling and getting connected with the source. Just like a plant, always reconnecting to the purpose.
Always reconnecting to the purpose. I love this homework. So, Soribel has given us our marching papers. We need to go grab our journal. My recommendation is always going to be take some deep cleansing breaths. You know, I usually recommend take a deep breath in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and do that again about 2 or 3 times. There is a physiological reason why we recommend this, because it actually brings that fight or flight response down. And then once you're in that place of calm, quiet, ask yourself the question, which Soribel just posed: if I were where I would want to be in my life, if all was sunshine, roses, unicorns, and butterflies, if that was all that was happening in your life, I mean, okay, for me, it would probably be Prosecco, but whatever.
That too. That will also help too.
Prosecco and hanging out with good girlfriends. That's
That will help too, and talk about it with your girlfriends. That will help too.
my beautiful happy place by the
Yes.
ocean. That's my happy place. But if you're where you want to be in your life, in your business, if all was well, how would you feel right about that? Ask yourself, how would I feel? What would I be thinking? How
Mm.
would I behave? Make some time to do this exercise because we don't just want one word answers here. Oh, how would I feel? I would feel good.
Yeah.
That's not.
This is how it looks for me. This is how it looks for me. Let me show you something. So let's say my question is, if I were producing multi-million dollars in my private practice, how would I feel? I feel empowered. I feel loved. I feel supported. I feel that I can conquer all. I feel that I always want to be in service for my clients, for the people that work with me, for those that collaborate. I feel in flow. I feel that I'm in control. I am responsible. I am on time. I am beautiful. I am connected. I am intelligent. I am committed. I am taking action. I am in connection with my purpose. I am creating my vision. I am you see that?
I see that. I see that. And you know what's amazing about that is that once you, at least for me, once I start writing, suddenly I am in flow and the words, they will come. So how
I
do
don't
you,
want just one word. I want to feel good. That doesn't
yeah,
that
that's not gonna, you've gotta let the energy of what it's gonna feel like flow through your
and feel it.
fingers.
You have to
And
feel
feel it.
supported.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is think about like writing this book, how I feel supported is how I created that in my journal. That feeling of support, that feel of ease, that feel of love, that feel of like togetherness and working in collaboration. And yeah, you see, it's a feeling. You have to feel it.
Ooh, I'm feeling it already, all the
You
way
got
up here.
to. You got. If you don't feel it, you don't. It's not. Nothing's gonna happen because the feeling is the energy that you pull from the universe, and then when you pull that energy, other people are feeling your energy, and then they attract to you, and they want to come to you, and they want to do the thing with you, and they want to collaborate with you, and they want to work extra for you because you have that energy.
I love this. So the questions are, how do you want to feel? How are you gonna, what are you gonna be thinking? How are you behaving? What are you doing? How are you showing up? Make some time to do this journaling exercise. And of course, I continue to invite you to come on over to the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group, grow smarter, not harder.com/Facebook, and come join the conversation. Perhaps if you feel open to it, share about what your experience has been with this journaling exercise and how it is moving you forward. We want to know how this homework has panned out for you. Thank you so much, Soribel, for being our special guest today. We're really excited that Soribel has been a best-selling author with us on Ignite Your Leadership, and she is absolutely positively committed to this idea of supporting us to be resilient in our lives and in our business. And so she is publishing her brand new book on March 20th called Unbreakable. This is not to be missed. And as soon as we have more information about how you can get that book in your hands, then I'm going to let you know. But before we do that, I want to say Soribel's doing one more thing with us. She's going to be the keynote speaker at our upcoming Ladies Power Lunch Spring Summit. Summit's going to be in Farmington, Connecticut. So if you have to walk, ride, drive, get on your
Uber.
trusty steed, get in a plane, however you're going to get here, come to Farmington, Connecticut, March 20th and 21st, because we're going to be launching Soribel's new book, but also we're going to be getting together in that spirit of collaboration, and we're going to be linking arms and sharing the energy of growing our businesses in that grow smarter way. So we definitely invite you, but good news, if you can't make it, if there are no cars, trains, automobiles that you can find, it's okay because you can also join us virtually, and that is from anywhere that your device is, whether it's your phone or your computer. So thank you so much. I hope you'll come join us for Summit. The link to find your tickets, and we're selling right now our, so, these are evergreens, so you might find it later down, but if you find it in time, we will be having our early bird tickets available until the end of January. And you can get your tickets at growsmarter.harder.com/tickets. You'll get a chance to hang out with Soribel in person. You'll get your author signed copy of Unbreakable. It's just going to be an outstanding day, and I invite you to come be a part of it. Soribel, thank you so much for being our very special guest today. This was a very outstanding conversation, and I'll see you all on the next show. Bye, everyone.
Bye.